Hello everyone, my name is Anish. I am a rising sophomore at Lynbrook High School, and my project is optical character recognition and translation with a Raspberry Pi. So now I'm going to actually demo my project. So first you enter your command to run the code. You have to wait a little bit, and the code will run, and you'll get this preview, which is hooked up to a camera. So you're basically seeing what the camera is seeing. But the really important part here is the frame, because this is supposed to recognize text and characters, and the frame will actually show you whether or not it's actually recognizing characters. So first, I'm focusing on this bottle called Simply Saline. Just look closely at the frame, and you'll see. So kind of recognize the word saline. So it does take a little bit of time, but as you can see in the actual program itself, it translated simply saline into simplemente salina, which is correct. In terms of the progress since my last milestone, my project can now recognize text live and live stream footage from the camera directly to Real VNC Viewer, while also saving images of the moments when text was recognized. It can also translate that text into Spanish by writing down the translation. So now we'll be going over the actual code. So these first lines just import the proper libraries to make everything function. Then over here, this is the code that helps actually configure the camera so that way we can live stream footage directly to Real VNC Viewer. And this also helps do that. The frame, what it's defined as, comes in over here. It's used over here. And then pretty much all of this is to just show to save the moments when text is recognized to the Raspberry Pi, and show the text box around it and what words were recognized. And then right here, this is the actual text that helps translate it. So text over here, that's just whatever text was identified by the Raspberry Pi, and then it puts this through a translator. It automatically figures out what language it is, and then in this case we're translating it to Spanish, so then it prints out whatever is translated. And here, this also helps with the live stream, so that way when you live stream, you're not just getting a live stream of footage, but you also get to see if text is getting recognized. Some of the issues I had was not being able to live stream footage from the camera to Real VNC Viewer. I tried adjusting my code, and that may have helped a little, but it still wasn't working, which was odd considering my instructor and I had the same code, yet she was able to live stream the footage. We then realized the only difference between our code was that one of her libraries was on an older version than me. So I downgraded that library, but the code was still bugging out on the last few steps. After spending more time investigating my issues, I realized the problem was that the camera for the Raspberry Pi wasn't actually properly secured into its port right here. By the way, none of my hardware has changed since the last milestone. After securing the camera, the problem was solved. Then I also had issues following the tutorial to actually make the camera do live text recognition, as some of the code that it gave was outdated. So I had to work with my instructor to fix the code, which was tedious. The same issue arose again when I found and tried to follow a tutorial on how to translate words with Python, because it was outdated. Me and my instructor then found a new tutorial after a lot of searching and trying to fix the problems with the old one, and this one did work. I then inputted the code from the tutorial into the code for live text recognition, and also added a few minor changes to make everything work together. I have been surprised as to how easily bugs can arise in code, and how hard it can be to find out why bugs and errors are there in the code in the first place. And on the other hand, it really surprised me how many online resources there were to help solve errors and bugs, and how much overall creativity it takes to debug code, especially when it comes to thinking about how you want to research for solutions and how you want to use your previous knowledge to your greatest advantage. To finish up this project, I need to have the translated words said out loud by a speaker connected to the Raspberry Pi. Maybe add more languages to translate to and from. Perhaps add some interface to give the ability to choose what languages to translate to and from, and or some extra words of advice for the user of the device as to what to do when they see the words.